Illinois becomes the first state in the nation to abolish cash bail in just 5 days. That's when the Safety Act takes effect. Tonight, our political editor Mark Maxwell talked to a St. Clair County judge about the massive overhaul coming to Illinois courts.
And for years, politicians have shaped and warped, in some cases, the rhetoric around the end of cash bail, warning of a so-called purge or a massive jailbreak where violent offenders would roam free and wreak havoc. But we haven't heard much from the judges who make those decisions until now.
This is a monumental transformation of the criminal justice system.
He would know. He's not wearing his robes here, but that's St. Clair County's Chief Judge, Andrew Gleason.
I'm on the front lines. I'm in the trenches. I have a pretty good idea of how all this is going to work.
He's weighed the good and the bad in the scales of justice in this building for decades and came away with a lingering question, that same question that sits at the core of Illinois' move to abolish cash bail.
Why do we have a two-tier justice system when it comes to bond and not bond?
He doesn't usually grant interviews to the press, but in this case,
I have a narrative that ought to be heard along with the people that are hand-wringing and believing that the sky is falling.
We met him moments before prosecutors, parole officers, police, public defenders, and court reporters filed into his chambers to continue their work, hammering out a new system to process people who get arrested.
It's been a daunting task, but I'm kind of excited to see what actually takes place, and I think that it's going to be a lot more positive than people might suspect at this particular point in time.
Without bond, judges will use a risk assessment tool and fill out these carbon copy forms to decide which defendants facing violent felony charges will go to jail to wait for their day in court. In the 2.5 years since Illinois adopted the new law, he says he's heard a lot of misleading rhetoric from politicians who want your vote.
The sky is falling. We're letting everybody out. You know, we're going to swing the doors open, and every dangerous criminal in the world is going to be on the streets of our community.
They called it the purge.
The purge. It's just not true, and it's unfortunate that someone would say that. It's not correct. We're going to ensure that doesn't happen, and we still have the discretion and are going to utilize that discretion to make sure that doesn't happen.
Now that decision falls squarely on the judge's shoulders.
For the most part, if somebody's dangerous, we're detaining them, and I don't think I'm sure that's not going to change. If we find someone to be dangerous to themselves or to the community at large, they'll be detained.
The judge confirmed what the public defender told us yesterday, that roughly 10% of the current jail population could get to go home on Monday after a judge hears arguments about their potential risks to the community.